2 weeks left of the transfer window. Lots to get through. Dharmesh, we're going to start with you. We could actually see Harry Kane tomorrow, couldn't we? Finally.
Yep, the saga continues. He actually trained with the Tottenham first-team squad today. It's the first time he's trained with the first-team squad since he returned from his extended break after the European Championships with England. And we know he's in the squad for Thursday's Europa Conference League qualifier. Now, if Harry Kane is to travel to Portugal for that match against Paços de Ferreira, we should see him in training. That's because UEFA protocols mean that clubs have to put on an open training session one day before match day. They call it match day -1, and that will be at some point tomorrow afternoon, because we think that Tottenham will actually fly out to Portugal tomorrow morning ahead of that open training session and ahead of the news conferences before that game.
OK, but Kaveh, I mean, there's very little, isn't there, coming out of either side. It's sort of trying to guess what's happening. But what information do we know?
Look, I think we have reached now or never time, because if Harry Kane is going to leave Spurs, you would think it really needs to happen this week to give Spurs enough time to sign a replacement before the transfer window closes 2 weeks today. And the reason I say it's almost now or never time is because we've seen how long transfers from abroad are taking. It's not as simple as it used to be before Brexit. When you factor in the fact that players need work permits and visas, it is taking a long time. We've seen Varane took a long time, Lukaku took a long time. So I just think something needs to give. I think as far as Harry Kane himself is concerned, he has made it very, very clear. He wants to move. We all know he wants to move to Manchester City. The key question, I think, at the moment is how much do Manchester City want him? Do they want him enough to pay £150 million for a 28-year-old striker? Or will they be tempted to think, do you know what, we're not going to go that high, we'll wait until next summer when Erling Haaland will be available for £68 million, plus, of course, the money that you've got to give to his agent. But Haaland is a lot younger. So I think that is what Manchester City will be thinking about. But from Harry Kane's point of view, time is really beginning to run out. And Dharmesh made the point about Kane being in the squad for the Europa Conference playoff game on Thursday. If Harry Kane doesn't fly to Portugal tomorrow, I think perhaps we shouldn't make a massive deal out of it. I don't think it will then be a case of, oh, he's definitely leaving Manchester City, because the squad that he's been named in is for both legs of the game. So it's for the game this Thursday and it's for the game next week as well. So if he doesn't fly to Portugal, he may still be involved in the home game next week, which is why he was in the squad for this playoff.
Right, goodness me. Let's move on to a side that have sorted out their striker options for the season. We're going to talk about Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku is in, could play Sunday. Tammy Abraham now confirmed as a Roma player. Kaveh, Chelsea have included a very clever buyback clause here, haven't they?
Yes, and it shows that Chelsea still have faith in Tammy Abraham, even though they're selling him, because they've got a buyback clause which is about £68 million, which they can trigger in 2 years' time. So if he goes out to Rome and does really, really well and scores lots of goals, and Chelsea feel they may have made a mistake, they can revisit that and get him back in 2 years' time. The way I would frame this move is, I think it's a fantastic move for Tammy Abraham. It's a fantastic move for Chelsea, and it could be a fantastic move for Roma. As far as the player himself is concerned, an incredible opportunity to go from being a bit part player at Chelsea, somebody who is not getting game time under Thomas Tuchel, to being the main man at a club as big as Roma and working with a manager like Jose Mourinho. I think it's a great deal for Chelsea because obviously they've gone out and spent £97.5 million on Romelu Lukaku, and now they've got back £34 million. Of that, on a player who Thomas Tuchel was not even involving in his squad, for instance, for the Champions League final. And as far as Roma are concerned, I think it could be a great deal for them. Because bear in mind, Tammy Abraham is still only 23. He hasn't been playing, but he was a top scorer at Chelsea last season. Scored 12 times. He's played 6 times for England. I've seen him score for England. He's got a big future in the game. He just needs to grab this opportunity. He needs to do what Romelu Lukaku did when he went out to Inter Milan and Serie A. Because it is a great opportunity. It could be the making of him. You've heard Romelu Lukaku say, Inter Milan is where I became a man. It's where I became the player that I am today. Hopefully, Roma, Tammy Abraham will be saying the same about Roma in a couple of years' time.
And wearing the number 9 shirt there as well.